The king sent out messengers to bring in the bricklayer who had built the wall. They brought him and tied him. So the king sent his soldiers to call the bricklayer who built the wall. They tied his hand and feet and brought him in the king's palace. "You there, did you build this man's wall in his father's time?" The king asked him that had he built that wall, and he replied that yes, he had. "Yes, my lord, I did." "What kind of a wall is that you built?" "It has fallen on a poor man and killed him. You have murdered him. We have to punish you by death." The king said that the man had built a weak wall. The wall fell on the poor thief's head and killed him. The bricklayer would be punished for this with death. Now see the judgmental power of the king. He was simply punishing an innocent person without even following what the complaint was or what will be the consequences. Before the king could order the execution, the poor bricklayer pleaded, "Please listen to me before you give your orders. It is true I built this wall and it was no good, but that was because my mind was not on it. I remember very well a dancing girl who was going up and down that street all day and her anklets jingling, and I couldn't keep my eye on or my mind on the wall I was building. You must get that dancing girl. I know where she lives." Everyone is busy passing the blame on the other person. When the king was about to pass an order to execute the bricklayer, he requested the king to listen to him. He agreed that he did not make the wall properly, and he further added that it was because of a girl who was roaming around the street and her anklets were making a jingling sound. Due to her anklets' jingle sound, he was not able to concentrate on his work and so built a weak wall. It was not his mistake, it was the fault of the girl. He added that he knew where this dancing girl lived. She should be punished instead of him. "You are right. The case deepens. We must look into it. It is not easy to judge such complicated cases. Let's get the dancer wherever she is." The king was satisfied with the bricklayer's explanation. He was convinced with him. He tells that this case is very complicated and will not be able to solve it so easily. He ordered this messenger to get the dance girl. The dancing girl, now an old woman, came trembling to the court. "Did you walk up and down that street many years ago while this poor man was building a wall? Did you see him?" The dancing girl had become an old woman and she was trembling as she entered the court. The king asked her that many years ago was she dancing and roaming about in the lane while the bricklayer was constructing the wall. "Yes, my lord, I remember it very well." "So you did walk up and down with your anklets jingling. You were young and you distracted him. So he built a bad wall. It has fallen on a poor burglar and killed him. You have killed an innocent man. You will have to be punished." Her movement distracted him. She confirmed him. He told her that she was roaming around with her anklets jingling. It distracted the bricklayer. Due to this, he could not do his work properly. He built a bad wall which fell on the thief and he was killed. It was because of her that the thief died and she would be punished with death. She thought for a minute and said, "My lord, wait. I know now why I was walking up and down that street. I had given some gold to the goldsmith to make some jewelry for me." The dancing girl transferred the blame onto another person. She said that she was roaming around in this lane again and again because she had to visit the goldsmith's shop. He was a lazy scoundrel. He made so many excuses, said he would give it now and he would give it then, and so on all day. He made me walk up and down to his house dozens times. He was a dishonest person. He was making excuses for not making her ornaments in time. He kept on asking her to come after some time. Due to this, she had to go to his house at least a dozen times. So the dancing girl said that it was the fault of the goldsmith. "That was when this bricklayer saw me. It is not my fault, my lord. It is the damned goldsmith's fault." Poor thing. She is absolutely right, thought the king, weighing the evidence. "We have got the real culprit at last. Get the goldsmith, wherever he is hiding, at once." Further, this dancing girl says that when the bricklayer saw her and got distracted, it was the fault of the goldsmith because of whom she was roaming in the lane again and again. Now the king says that the poor dancing girl was totally right. He thought a lot and finally said that now they knew who the real culprit was. He ordered to bring the goldsmith. The king's bailiffs searched for the goldsmith who was hiding in a corner of his shop. When he heard the accusation against him, he had his own story to tell. The bailiffs in the king's court went in search of the goldsmith and brought him to the court. The goldsmith was hiding inside his shop as he feared being arrested. When he was brought in front of the king, he told his side of the story. My lord, he said, I am a poor goldsmith. It is true, I bade this dancer come many times to my door. I gave her excuses because I couldn't finish making her jewelry before I finished the rich merchant's order. They had a wedding coming and they wouldn't wait. You know how impatient rich men are? Who is this rich merchant who kept you from finishing this poor woman's jewelry, made her walk up and down, which distracted this bricklayer, which made a mess of his wall, which had now fallen on an innocent man and killed him? Can you name him? The goldsmith said that the dancing girl was right. He made many excuses and made her visit his shop again and again. But it was not his fault. He had an order from a rich merchant and they had a wedding at their place and were in a hurry to get their order. And that is why the dancing girl's work was getting delayed. Now the king said that he had understood the whole thing. It was actually the merchant's fault, and it was because of the merchant that everything had come to this situation. Then the king asked the goldsmith to name the rich merchant. Who is this rich merchant who kept you finishing this poor woman's jewelry, made her walk up and down, which distracted this bricklayer, which made a mess of this wall, which has now fallen on the innocent man and killed him? Can you name him? The goldsmith named the merchant, and he was none other than the original owner of the house, whose wall had fallen.